The weight of the day is on your shoulders. Your eyelids are getting heavy. The noise of the city outside is slowly fading away. The walls of your room are melting, giving way to a cold, damp air. You are sleeping right now, but your consciousness is waking up in another time, thousands of years ago. The marble floor you step on with your bare feet is ice cold. This is Athens, the temple of Athena. There is a heavy scent of incense in the air, a smell that burns your throat and makes you dizzy. Ahead, in the shadow of the columns, you see a silhouette, kneeling, praying, her hair. It is so long and shiny that it flows like a golden waterfall in the torchlight. This woman is not a monster, not yet. This woman is Medusa, and tonight you will witness her nightmare. Medusa was the only mortal among the Gorgon sisters, and before she was cursed, she was known as the most beautiful woman in the entire Greek peninsula. She was so beautiful that when people came to the temple to pray to the goddess Athena, their eyes would drift from the statue of the goddess to the priestess, Medusa. Medusa was aware of this, but she kept her head down, because in those times, beauty for a woman was not a treasure to be owned, but a danger to be hidden. She had sworn an oath of loyalty to Athena. She would let no man touch her. She felt guilty even while brushing her hair, because that hair took men's minds away. Let's pause the story here for a second, because to understand Medusa, we need to decode the perception of beauty in that era. Today we see beauty as an advantage, an influencer power, don't we? But in ancient Greece, especially if you were a temple priestess, beauty was a burden. There is a concept in Greek called hubris. It means challenging the gods, overstepping one's bounds. Medusa's beauty was so excessive that it began to be perceived as a threat to goddess Athena's authority, a form of hubris. Think about it. What happens if a nurse gets more attention than the head doctor? Or a student appears smarter than the professor? The hierarchy breaks. Athena was the goddess of wisdom and war. But when it came to femininity and allure, Medusa stood right in the middle of the temple as living proof. Do you think Medusa's end was caused by a mistake she made, or simply by her existence? Sometimes just shining bright is enough to disturb those in the dark. You return to your dream. The temple doors burst open with a loud crash. The wind rushing in makes the torches flicker. Poseidon, lord of the seas, enters in human form but with a godlike rage. His eyes are searching for Medusa. Medusa tries to run, hiding behind the statue of Athena. She begs her goddess, "Protect me, I am in your house, save me." But the statue remains silent. Marble eyes just watch the horror unfolding below. Poseidon forces himself upon Medusa right there, on that holy ground. When it is over, Poseidon vanishes like mist. Medusa is left on the floor, weeping, with her torn clothes and disheveled hair. Just then, Athena appears, but not to offer comfort. Athena looks down at Medusa and says, "You have polluted my temple." Medusa cannot believe it. She wants to scream, "I am the victim," but no sound comes out, and the punishment begins. She feels a burning sensation in her body, that silky hair. First, it gets heavy, then it starts to move, coiling cold, scaly bodies on her scalp. Hissing sounds right by her ear. Medusa reaches for her head, but touches vipers instead of hair. Her skin hardens, cracks. Her beautiful eyes turn into a deadly weapon that will turn everything they behold into stone. This scene is the greatest example of victim blaming in mythology history. The crime is committed by a powerful male, Poseidon, yet the woman is punished. Sound familiar? But here I want to bring a Freudian perspective. Please listen carefully. Sigmund Freud suggests that the snakes on Medusa's head are shields of protection. Think about it. Medusa was beautiful before she was vulnerable and anyone could approach her. But Athena turned her into something that no man could ever touch again. Let alone touch, they couldn't even look her in the eye. Maybe Athena wanted to tell her, since your beauty brings you trouble, since you cannot protect yourself against men, then become such a monster that they cannot even get near you out of fear. Is this a curse or a brutal armor? Think of people who have experienced trauma, closing themselves off to the outside world, hardening, almost turning into a wall. Medusa is actually the mythological equivalent of the traumatized soul. Turning people to stone is the insurmountable distance she puts between herself and people. Years passed. Medusa was no longer human. The front of her cave was filled with stone statues of heroes who wanted to try their luck. She didn't even look at them. The hissing of her snakes was her only company. Then one day she heard a different footstep, Perseus. But this hero didn't look foolishly into her eyes like the others. He held a bright, mirror-like shield. Medusa was sleeping. Or was she pretending to sleep? Who knows, maybe she was tired of this cursed life. Perseus found Medusa's location through the reflection in his shield. He didn't hesitate. He raised his sword, and in a single strike, the head was severed from the body. But the strangest part of the story began here. From the blood flowing from Medusa's neck, a pure, white, winged horse was born, Pegasus. From the blood of the Earth's most terrible monster, the Earth's purest, freest, and most beautiful creature was born. This finale gives us a very powerful message. The Greeks believed this. From great pain, great beauty is born. Medusa suffered all her life, was ostracized and demonized. But that potential inside her, that Pegasus, only emerged when she died. That is, when her ego and her pain were destroyed. Today in psychology we call this post-traumatic growth. Sometimes life breaks us, shatters us, makes us unrecognizable. But from among those broken pieces, a power, a talent, a winged horse that we didn't possess before is born. Even Medusa's severed head was used as a weapon. So she retained her power even after death. She wasn't just a monster, she was a woman who was misunderstood, left alone, and crushed under her own power. Now, think about the story again. In that temple in your dream, do you feel sorry for that beautiful woman, or do you respect that powerful monster at the end? Is beauty a curse, or do the walls we build to protect ourselves eventually turn us into the very thing those walls are made of? Stone? You feel a strange chill on your neck. Your hand instinctively goes to your throat. Thankfully, everything is in place. You wake up, taking a deep breath. No temple, no snakes. Just you and the silence of the morning, but you know. Medusa's story wasn't just a fairy tale. She was that angry part inside each of us that emerges when we are broken. Now open your eyes and start your day. But when you look in the mirror, never forget that stone-turning power deep within your own eyes.